right, welcome to the Fluid Power Forum, a podcast of the National Fluid Power Association. I'm your guest host on the iVT Off-Highway Expo floor, Ben Brown, and I'm here to interview interesting people who are moving fluid power technology forward at the 2026 iVT Expo. Here with me now is Ken Baker from Bailey International to talk about his iVT experience, as well as what his company is exhibiting and the value that it brings to you, the listener. Thanks for joining me today, Ken. How's your iVT experience been so far?
It's been a great experience so far. It's really good to see this year the breadth of products that are on the production or on the floor, and it's been fun to walk around and talk to a lot of folks.
Yeah, I mean, that's half the fun of coming down to these shows. What's some of the things that stood out about the breadth of products you've seen?
So it's interesting. We've seen definitely an expansion of the hydraulic products over the last couple of years, but this year it's continued. So where iVT started as an electronics show, it's really grown into an entire systems show, and that's fun to see. I've seen some interesting component manufacturers as well that are different from years past in the valve space and in the subsystem valve space. So it's good to see those folks on the floor.
Yeah, it's always good to see more and more products and new things coming out at these things. All right, so now let's talk about Bailey International a little bit more specifically. What did you guys come out and what are you showing here?
We've got a wide variety of products that cover the gambit of system needs for folks in the hydraulics and electronics space. So we've got a really interesting and innovative concept joystick that gives both haptic and mechanical feedback that is all done through software. And so it's an interesting concept that we're getting feedback on from customers. We've had a lot of interest in that product, but we have our closed loop systems that are new for us this year that we're offering into the marketplace, as well as our standard set of controls that we've always had at the iVT and our other hydraulic products.
Sounds like a lot of good things. Let's jump in a little bit more about the, I believe, joystick you mentioned. You mentioned both haptic and mechanical feedback.
Yes.
Can you give a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, it's a really interesting design where the joystick doesn't have any mechanical limits per se, as in the directions, but you can actually mimic gear shifts. You can mimic features that, with detents in different positions rather than just north, south, east, west. It can give you that haptic feedback that I mentioned. More and more people are looking to get that haptic feedback in the system so that they can have the operator safely observe the operation of the machine instead of the screens and controls. They're able to look outside the cab more safely, and that haptic feedback still gives them the elements that they need for feedback.
The full experience with more safety and a little bit more protection.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great thing.
Absolutely.
All right, so where can our listeners go to learn a little bit more about some of the other products you mentioned at your company?
Sure. The best place to start is BaileyINTL.com, so it's short for international. BaileyInternational.com is the place to start. But we also have a suite of sales folks that are more than happy to talk with anybody that needs direction. Our sales applications team is also available to help answer specific technical questions.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Ken, for taking the time to join.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
That's going to wrap things up for this mini episode of the Fluid Power Forum podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the other podcasting services, and leave a review. It makes a huge difference for us and helps us continue growing the show. Also, remember to follow us on LinkedIn at the National Fluid Power Association. Fluid Power Forum is a podcast of the National Fluid Power Association. I'm your guest host, Ben Brown, reminding you to join us next time in the forum.